48 hours after the Morpeth Town game. You've watched the game back. What were your conclusions in the cold light of day?
It was a great performance. It was really nice to watch it back yesterday. I didn't realise how well we played first half. I thought some of the rotations, the patterns, the link-up play between De Grucci and Gribbin down this right-hand side was a joy to behold. Potts' performance, after 5 seconds he was right at it. He broke up play and then he changed the play straight away. Just how high we was in the press, how many chances we created. And second half we had a little bit of a wobble. The bounce come back into it, but then the character of the side, in particular after losing the goal that we did in the first half, young Jack was exceptional, but he's made a mistake, and that's what he's here to do. As well as learn. But then the character, to come back in, and then at 3-1 they get 3-2, and then we really get on top and we go 4-2, and it's a really good 3 points, and it's another one of the top sides that we're beaten. Yeah,
it was quite interesting to see actually, because our sort of like second goal, which was fundamentally the killer goal, came when we were back on our heels a little bit. Basically, I remember writing the commentary and saying basically it's a good face from Morpeth, and basically hitting on the break. It was just so quick, wasn't it?
And that's good. That's a counter-attack that we've got. That's the pace that we've got. That's part of the game plan that we've got. Not be more resilient at the back, suck up a little bit of pressure, but then we know the pace that we've got at the top end of the field, and get that counter-attack going, and Regan gets away and squares it to Will, and we get the goal. So delighted, really happy with everyone's performance the other night. And it's another win, or it's another game undefeated, and confidence is high. But that doesn't mean anything if we don't follow it up with another good performance against Marske on Saturday.
Yeah, and our away form, two away games now, Marske and obviously Guiseley. Our away form has been very good. Last season, obviously we had a sort of couple of season-defining injury to Potsy. Obviously he was on fire on Tuesday. What we're going to do differently this year at Marske?
Well, that's one of the things that I remember about Marske straight away. Potts' injury, and that was for me the turning point of the season. He was dragging us through some games, and we got a bad calf injury. I think he was out for 6 to 8 weeks, and really struggled to get back to his best after that. But you've seen, the Michael Potts has returned now. It's like watching him 5 or 6 years ago. Really slim, really athletic, really confident in his approach. Leadership skills and abundance, and the quality on the football. And you've got a Michael Potts in your ranks, along with other players. James Vincent's come back, your Charlie Ennis, your Curtis Jones, etc. You've got a really powerful squad. So the mindset is strong in the dressing room. We know that we've got 2 really tough games now. Marske, we're going to be up there at the end of the season. Brilliant last season, they beat us. They got promoted, which is great. And then Guiseley was one of the pre-season favourites to get promoted. So I'm sure they'll kick-start. But like I say, everyone wants to play against FC United. They all raise the game, and we've just got to make sure our mentality is correct, the way we play is correct, and we've got to keep reminding ourselves of the Liversedge performance at home. That if you take your foot off, or if you don't turn up, then anything can happen. But the lads are in good spirits. It's going to be a long journey, a long 72 hours on the Saturday and the Tuesday before we get back to Broadhurst Park against Lancaster. But we're really looking forward to it. And we've watched Marske. We've got the footage from the Clitheroe game. We've had a scout watching them last week, so we know a lot about them. But let's credit them; they're a really good side, and there are no easy games in this league. But I'm sure that if we keep to our game plan, we keep people fit, then we've got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of keeping people fit, I mean, Donna's has been immense this season, hasn't he? Obviously, he pulled up in training with it. Is it a hamstring? Yeah, it's hamstring,
yeah. So in the warm-up, he felt it. We were doing our little patterns of play, and I think ball number 9, he just felt it, and hopefully we've got it in the nick of time. Donald's has been amazing, but they got an injury, and he's coming back to form, and he's got another injury, but we've got a great medical team, in Liv, and the team that are helping out at the minute. So I've no doubt, Michael will be back to full fitness, but we won't use him. We can't use him. I think the injury might be 10 to 14 days. So we've got to look at a different option. But I thought, Ennis, needed a rest on Tuesday. But as professional as Paul is, he was ready to go. And when I give him the nod in, and after about 7:30, I said, Donald's pulled up, you're in, on the left-hand side, and, roll back the years, and he did really well. So we've got that, we've got them opportunities now. Although the squad's a little bit thin, we've still got good options in and around it. So we'll be strong Saturday. Obviously, Michael Donoghue always makes you stronger, but that's okay. We need him back to full fitness, and we'll go with what we've got Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, talking about sort of squad depth, obviously last week rather, sort of Joe Redwall Grant went back to Wigan. We thank Wigan for loaning him to him. And then we heard the other day that obviously Will Russ has been recalled by Fleetwood. Yeah,
so, massive thanks to both Wigan and Fleetwood. I'm hoping that we've helped develop their players, and they've put the trust in us. You know, I probably had abundance of number 9s, and Joe wasn't getting the game time that Wigan or he hoped for. Attitude brilliant, great lad, but we just spoke to his agent, spoke to Wigan and said, at the minute it's not the right time. So he went, and then we were hit, you know, by the news that Will has decided to terminate or end his loan agreement and move on somewhere else. We're not sure where that'll be yet. You know, he scored a hat-trick on Tuesday night. But you know, that's football. That's football, and that's the risk with loan players. But we've got to keep doing it because that's the financial market that we are shopping at the minute, and we'll look to possibly bring in another one. But you know, sending Will back to Fleetwood, like we've done with Kean Hayes in the past, and other players that have come. Hopefully, we've sent him back as a better player, and he's developed and he's got something from men's football as Joe. But that doesn't put us off the loan market. You know, we'll look for the next one, and you know, if the next one comes in, then great. Yeah,
I mean, with the rest of the loan signings, obviously Jack's with us till the end of Jack DeCruci is with us till the end of the season. He's been immense down that right side.
Young Jack's great. I've no doubt he's got a future in football. You know, when he fills out. But what a player, what a lad, what a relationship we've got with Doncaster. You know, in having Jack, and you know, Doncaster have said that they don't want him to end now. You know, he's learning so much. He's got a real buzz around the training ground. He talks really positively about his time at FC United, and we've got to the end of the seasons, which is great. And then we've got Tavonga. You know, Tavonga Coella hasn't had as much football time, but we've had a number of loan players in, and you know, he's had to bide his time. But Doncaster are happy with the environment, so we've got Tavs for another 28 days, and I'm sure he'll get game time in that time. And then we've, you know, young Finn at left back. You know, big shoes to fill in Adam Dodd. You know, and then Guy came in, and you know, he's done great. You know, he's hit the ground running, and Burnley have been really impressed with what they've seen, and he's extended till January. So that's another player that we've got for a long time. And then we're looking at Will Stanway. You know, it's great competition. We've got Dan Lavercombe, we've now got Will. Chester want to extend, we want to extend, so hopefully we can get the paperwork done this week to get Will over the line and, you know, be here for the rest of the season.
For people who don't know, obviously these loan players rather, they come from professional clubs. We train Tuesday, Thursday night if we're not playing Tuesday, obviously. What do those players do during the day?
They still train with the host team. You know, they've obviously, the host team have got one eye on the games programme here and the training schedule, but they insist that the lads train with us. So if they're Tuesday and a Thursday and a Saturday, they'll do a light session on a Friday. They may have a morning off on a Tuesday. Depending on what they do on a Thursday, it could be a lightweight session. But, you know, the priority is our players now and how we deal with them. And, you know, we just keep in touch with them. We send our stats, our analysis stats, our fatigue stats, our running stats to the host clubs. But they're brilliant, and it just shows that the relationship that I've got with the pro clubs and the trust that they've got in me and the football club to develop their players. And, you know, we're going far and wide now. Like I said, Doncaster, it's Preston North End, it's Blackburn Rovers, it's Fleetwood, it's Burnley. You know, and we've just got to keep developing them relationships, because these players are good enough. You know, they may be a young age, but they're definitely good enough. And you know, if we can help them and they can help us, then we'll continue to hopefully bridge that relationship between other clubs as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great obviously for them to, they're contributing to the winning environment. Obviously they've got a spine of the team now, which is like really senior. Obviously we've got Curtis, you've got Andy, then centre half, obviously, and then you've got a pick of three from Potsy, Chaz and Vinny in the midfield, and then you've got Regan, who's basically really coming to his own as a number 9, basically, and taking the fight forward.
We have, and Griff to come back as well. So you know, as a manager, you've got all sorts of options. You've got Dante Gavin on as well, who hasn't featured the last couple of weeks. Tricky winger, you know, Guy Hold's come back in. Yeah, and like you say, it's a really tight knit squad. It's a squad full of ability. But I had to laugh the other night, you know, when the main stand paddock were singing towards Jack DeGrucci. You know, Jack DeGrucci on the right-hand side, and Jack was joining in, and I don't think he knows that it's a song from the 80s. So he's been singing it. But you know, we're going to pull his leg tonight at training and play the original song. So you know, it was brilliant, and this is another draw, you know, for these lone players to hear that and see that. You know, it's absolutely fantastic, and it just helps them, you know, become more part of the football club. And you know, the main stand was singing that song. It was brilliant to hear, and he was clapping along with them. But it is, you know, and that squad mentality is driven by the senior players. You know, you will laugh. You go into kind of the physio room tonight, and young Jack will be there, and Finn, and they'll be laughing at players like Vincent and Potts, and Jack calls Vinny Dad. You know, it's a really good environment to be part of, and we've got to make sure that these lads that are coming really feel part of it. You know, they're part of the FC family. They buy into everything about the football club. The parents come, they buy into everything about the football club, and that's why it's so unique. You know, but we'll continue to to work with these players, senior players, younger players, and just to develop that squad. And hopefully come the end of the season, everyone's played the part in having a successful time.
Yeah, we're reflecting. We're in the main function room here, obviously at Broadhurst Park, and we're looking over what is an absolute bowling green of a pitch, even after 4 games.
I've run out of superlatives to say for Andy O'Sullivan and the ground staff, and I've said this prior to this interview many times that in the past, we've been expecting people to pull up trees, without the necessary qualifications or the relevant qualifications, and these guys have done everything. They understand soil science. They've done so much work underneath the ground. They've had a team here this week putting cameras down the drains and looking at different things. They've had a new fertiliser programme put on there. They've greened the pitch up. They're forever repairing it. They've been here again today. And you look out the window and it doesn't look like it's been played on, which is great. That to me is a massive credit, and obviously to them, but also to other people in the past. Who've helped out in Jimmy and Graham. Graham was fantastic and knew everything, and then we handed to Jimmy, and Jimmy was kind of swimming without armbands at the time because he didn't understand, he didn't have the training, but that doesn't mean that he didn't do a good job. He did what he could do, and now he's learning off Andy and the ground staff, and they're brilliant, and again they're part of the staff family. They are, and Jimmy and Andy, or Andy and Nat, or Andy and Francis, or Andy and me, we all get on really well together, and for us, they're just the members of staff that we've said that if every member of staff performs to the best of their ability, that ability is a high level, then we'll do all right. And you can see not only the pitch, the function room, the work that Francis Fielding did the other night with the business meeting, the work that Rachel's doing behind the scenes with events, Natalie as CEO, Hannah Finance, Viv secretary, everybody in the main office is playing a part, and there's a real team theme here. And then you throw into the girls mix with James, manager, and the academy staff, the academy players, and you can feel there's a real buzz around the place, Tim. And then outside of that, you've got all the volunteers doing the work, and you can just feel, and I can feel everybody is now, united, together, and you have to look at this, uniting club, community and businesses, and a community club united. The fans feel it, and we all feel it, and all we can do as a football team is try and keep putting smiles on people's faces. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Winning football games does help, but let's not underestimate the amount of work that's going on behind the scenes to prepare for a match. And I reminded the lads that on Saturday against Liversedge, then putting a game on requires a hell of a lot of work, and if we perform like we did, that's not acceptable, and it's not fair on the amount of hours that people put in. So let's keep reminding ourselves of that. Thank you to everyone that's playing the part. Probably haven't mentioned the F&B staff as well. They do wonders, and Malcolm's. It's a whole. It's a really good team. It's a new team, and the people that have come in have added to the quality. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about the future, and the business plan is certainly coming to fruition now.
Yeah, I mean, Potsy was interviewed. He was man of the match on Tuesday, just chosen by FCM Radio, and there was one thing he said basically, which is get people on their feet, and I think that's what we obviously aim to do every game, isn't it? That's
what we always set out to do, and at the start of the season we said we probably didn't have the right tools in our toolbox to get people off the seat, and that's my fault because I brought them players to the club. It wasn't my fault that the players got injured or suspended, but it was certainly my team, and I've got to take that. But I'm an attacking manager. You score 2, we'll score 3, and I've never changed that philosophy. People, I think, may have questioned have I changed my approach, and do I like slow, morbid build-up play? Not at all, absolutely not at all. I want free-flowing, fast-attacking football where fans can be excited, get off the seats, and you can see. Potsy made reference to it. This crowd, when it gets going, this ground, when it gets going, it's absolutely buzzing, and we want to continue to make it buzz. Our away fans are superb. They make other grounds buzz, but we've got to get people off the seats. We've got to get more people in the stadium, and we'll only do that by playing the right football, playing the right way. And if we lose doing it, I'm sure that's forgivable. I think what's not forgivable is when we play boring, slow, unentertaining football, and that's never our approach. There will be games in the season that the lads have an off day, and they had an off day against Liversedge, but that's okay. That's okay because people are here to make mistakes and learn from it. So, we'll go again. We aim to go to Marske on Saturday, and depending on the surroundings and the pitch, play our style of football and hopefully come away with the points, and do the same against guys that before, like I said, entertaining Lancaster back at Broadhurst Park. But we have enjoyed being back here. For the last 4 games, walking to the stadium, it's everything that you want, and it's so professional, and it looks amazing now. It looks amazing, and really get some hairs standing on the back of your neck. So no, it's been good, but now we're on our travels, and we'll enjoy our travels come Saturday and Tuesday.